This 10,000 hours thing feels like a motivational poster crime, Daniel.
Yeah, it's a lie with good branding, and people eat it up.
The wild part is the research didn't even mean what the meme claims.
Exactly. Violinists, already elite, and then they averaged everyone like magic.
Averaged like sleep. Deliberate practice, all of it, just hand-waved away.
And the complete correspondence bit was even wrong after updates.
So the real message is, you don't grind the same way forever.
You optimize with experiments and also fail on purpose sometimes.
That's the self-regulatory cycle, right? Reflect, plan, experiment, monitor, evaluate.
Self-reg is basically being a scientist of your own development.
I love it because it kills the "I'll figure it out eventually" vibe.
And it forces boring accountability. What did you try? What happened? Next step.
But people hate it because it means you're responsible for your growth.
True, and it also explains why head down and ignore everything backfires long-term.
Short-term focus gives you speed, but then you fade out while broader kids catch up.
Fade out is such a savage phrase. It's not fading away, it's just you losing transfer.
Transfer. Like, you can't solve new problems if you only learned one narrow lane.
Breadth predicts breadth of transfer. Your brain builds flexible models.
So how do you not become dabbling guy who never becomes great?
That explore-exploit thing solves it. Explore first, then exploit, then explore again.
Hot streaks come after exploration, not after endless drilling.
And orgs mess this up when they find a win and then fossilize.
Like Kodak. We invented this, so let's die protecting it. Classic.
I mean, not even subtle. Also, your podcast example about small experiments hits hard.
Because once you're competent, changing feels like risking your reputation.
Zone of optimal push requires some failure, like 15 to 20% failing.
Not 0% failure. That's just rehearsal disguised as productivity.
Exactly. Low-stakes practice, but frequent enough that you're learning, not just proving.
Okay, but now move to the morning habit. Don't start your day with email. I'm offended.
Good. Be offended for science. The research is brutal on switching costs.
You mean that unfinished task residue thing? The brain won't let it go.
The Arnick effect. If you start with a task you don't finish, it haunts you.
So email at 9 a.m. guarantees my brain starts the day multitasking.
And multitasking isn't real multitasking. It's rapid toggling with stress.
Gloria Mark style. Brain like a whiteboard, and you're constantly erasing.
Residue means you can't fully enter deep work right after a ping storm.
That also explains why notifications feel like they're small, but they wreck performance.
Because your system adapts to a cadence of interruptions.
So if I turn off notifications, my brain replaces them by self-interrupting.
Yep, you'll still check stuff mentally for a while until the habit decays.
Which is annoying because I want instant peace, not conditioning cleanup.
That's the cruel part. Habit formation, not a one-day switch.
But the workaround is simple. Block your calendar and pick one pay yourself first task.
One thing, fewer to-dos, and leave buffer for the planning fallacy.
Planning fallacy is like, sure, I'll finish in 20 minutes, said by a liar.
And if you want focus, cut novelty distractions. Music with lyrics while reading is torture.
I swear my eyes read while my brain sings. It's like oscillation.
Instrumental can help, but even music steals attention unless you treat it deliberately.
So the rule becomes, if I'm overheating, remove distractions. If I'm depleted, maybe add structure or mild stimulation.
Intervals. Push hard, then reset your mind. Walk, shower, whatever.
That's the vibe. Hard focus, then incubation. Not constant grinding like a robot.
Now the bigger paradox is focus versus breadth. People think be broad means be unfocused.
But there's breadth across time or across career, not simultaneous chaos all day.
Right. Multitasking is toggling and it costs attention. Exploration isn't clicking 10 tabs.
Exploration is doing different problems, so you build transfer. then exploiting what you learned.
And tasks matter. Kind versus wicked learning environments decide whether narrow practice helps.
Kind is predictable feedback like golf shots or chess patterns.
Wicked is delayed or misleading feedback, like medicine, where the lesson can reinforce the wrong thing.
That typhoid tongue story is insane. He spreads disease and gets right predictions.
It shows why some narrow loops can teach you the wrong meta skill.
So 10,000 hours is not universal. It assumes you know how to be coached in the feedback loop.
And for most careers, programming, managing, entrepreneurship, you don't have clean feedback.
Which brings it back to experimenting like a scientist, not counting hours like a cult.
Exactly. Measure what matters, but also design experiments that reveal your blind spots.
Also, low-stakes failure needs culture. Title it Failure so people actually take risk.
And build an import-export business of ideas, so learning travels across teams.
That's why internal failure reports matter. The social media win becomes the research win.
1 + 1 becomes 3 because you share the mechanism, not just the outcome.
All right, I'm convinced. Email later, one task first, and I'll run experiments instead of just trying.
Perfect. We'll see your brain stop whiteboarding itself into stress.
And we'll test that habit with a journal and ruthless evaluation.
Cool. Now go do the hard thing before the notifications rewrite your day.
All right, we're done. Huge energy. Great stuff.
Episode 1 wraps here. Next episode, we're going deeper on learning and retention systems.
Okay, the notification thing is messing with me because it feels instant but not really.
Yeah, your brain is basically like, we're doing interruption now. It's a subscription.
That internal cadence line was wild, like a distractometer.
And the scary part is you don't stop interrupting immediately. You replace the habit.
So if I turn off notifications, I'm still going to self-interrupt. But with what?
With scrolling, checking, just one quick thing, your brain will improvise.
But how strong is this? Like, is it just vibes or actually measured stress and switching?
Gloria Mark type research tracked switching costs, residue, stress signals, performance drops.
Residue on the whiteboard, man. My mind is literally an office room with eraser crumbs.
Exactly. You can't erase clean. So every new task starts with the ghost of the old task.
That's why email first is evil, because it guarantees multitask energy all morning.
It's not even that email is bad, it's the structure. Partials never finish, so your brain stays open.
I love that residue framing because it explains why I never feel done.
Right? You think you're starting tasks, but you're actually starting task switch cycles.
And task switching is the productivity killer that wears a polite suit.
So the fix is boring but powerful. One important thing first, before residue gets installed.
But I run a team. I can't just do one thing without approvals, messages, chaos.
True. So you do one focus block for yourself and batch the approve moments into windows.
Like I can't stop the ocean, but I can stop drowning in notifications specifically.
And the best part is it's measurable. Your switching rate drops, stress drops, output rises.
Wait, the zones piece ties into this too. Optimal push requires failure, but email prevents deep push.
Yeah, if you're not failing 15 to 20% of the time, you're not training hard enough anyway.
But if you're failing at focus because of email, that failure is useless. Low-value failure.
Failure assistant for the wrong department, basically.
Speaking of failure assistance, I like the idea, but isn't it dangerous culturally?
It can be if you turn failure into a badge instead of a learning loop.
Right? Because failure for failure's sake becomes chaos, not experimentation.
That's why the explore-exploit toggle matters. Exploration first, then hot streak exploitation.
Hot streaks sound like sports, but it's career strategy with spreadsheets.
An exploration isn't random. It's a structured period where feedback is collected fast.
That's the thing, though. If feedback is delayed or misleading, exploration turns into self-gaslighting.
Exactly. That's the kind versus wicked learning environments conversation.
Like chess is kind, medicine can be wicked, and office life is probably wicked.
Office life is feedback arrives when you've already moved on to a different version of yourself.
That typhoid diagnosis story was dark, because it proves the feedback loop can reward the wrong skill.
Wicked environments can reinforce harmful predictions. Your system learns the wrong lesson faster.
So the productivity takeaway isn't just try harder, it's set experiments with valid signals.
Yes, low-stakes practice, high-quality evaluation, and do it iteratively.
But when I'm competent, it's hard to find experiments that don't feel like I'm wasting time.
That hammock of competence line is real. Once you're successful, risk feels like betrayal.
I'm sorry, innovation requires you to look bad for a day.
And the team's like, look bad? That's not in the KPI deck.
So how do you make smart risks without detonating the whole ship?
You run small experiments that are reversible, like changing one process variable, not the entire identity.
One variable, short loop, clear metric, review. Then decide, scientist of your own development stuff.
Scientist sounds cool until you have to write down what you expected and what actually happened.
True, my journal is mostly just today felt chaotic so far.
Then we upgrade it, reflect, plan an experiment, monitor, evaluate, cycle repeats.
And that ties back to the 10,000 hours lie. People treat practice like a straight line.
But the truth is about learning environments, feedback, breadth, and failing strategically.
Breadth seems counterintuitive, though. People hear be broad and think be unfocused.
Being broad isn't doing 10 things at once. It's stocking your toolbox over time.
Like Nintendo grabbing withered tech, lateral thinking instead of endless grinding in one lane.
That's the lateral invention idea. Take known components and recombine them for a new context.
So my new context might be not doom scrolling before writing.
Exactly. And your first experiment is simple. Don't start with email, start with one deliverable.
Then we track outcome like completion rate and switching frequency, not just vibes.
And accept you'll be self-interrupting at first, because the cadence habit is being withdrawn.
So my first 3 days might feel worse, but that's the withdrawal process.
Yeah, you're reducing external interruption, but the internal one needs retraining.
Okay, that makes me feel less broken and more in training.
That's the mindset shift. You're not behind, you're running experiments on your own attention.
Attention is the most expensive asset, and my brain keeps spending it like it's unlimited.
Until the residue bills come due.
All right, I'm locking it in. One task first, email later, and I'll journal the experiment results.
Perfect. Tomorrow we see if your brain stops whiteboarding the day into chaos.
I hate that you're right, but I'm ready. Let's go make it measurable.
All right, that's it for episode 1. Great questions, better experiments, and please go protect your first hour.
Episode 1. Energy. We'll be back next time. Episode 2 is about learning and retention systems.
Also, we're unpacking why your memory fails even when you know something.
Attention is literally the rent we pay for everything, isn't it?
Yep, and you keep renewing the subscription with notifications.
Okay, but notifications off is supposed to help. Why do I feel worse first?
Because your brain has a default interruption cadence, like a comfort setting.
So I'm not reducing distractions, I'm swapping one form for another?
Exactly. External pings go away. Internal self-interrupting keeps firing.
That's such an evil plot twist, like quitting caffeine and craving tea immediately.
Great analogy. Same mechanism, different stimulant.
And it's not immediate, it's like withdrawal, but for context switching.
Yeah, habit change has lag, because your brain learned that interruption rhythm.
This is why my day feels weird when I actually try to focus.
You don't feel productive, you feel unfinished, because email is a residue machine.
Residue machine, I'm stealing that for my notes app.
Please do. Right after you stop starting with it like a ritual offering.
I used to think email is just admin, like it's harmless.
It's not harmless. Opening it starts task switching, even if you do one message.
But it's still reading, right? Why does reading email feel like it kills writing?
Because writing and replying are different cognitive rules, even if both are words.
So switching includes shutting down one mindset and activating another?
Yup, and that cost shows up as stress and worse performance, not just time wasted.
That's where the heart rate variability angle gets scary, honestly.
It makes it feel physical, like your body hates the constant erasing and redrawing.
My brain is a whiteboard and email is a toddler with markers.
With notifications as extra glitter, of course.
Okay then, what's the replacement ritual for mornings?
Pick one outcome task and do it before anything that leaves residue.
You mean like finish something, not work on something?
Yes, because work on is how you negotiate with yourself all day.
But sometimes the outcome task depends on emails or messages.
Then you schedule email later and you write down the exact questions you need.
So I'm not ignoring communication, I'm deferring it with structure.
Exactly. The goal is fewer context switches, not hiding from humans.
I like that because it ties to the self-regulatory cycle too. Experiment, monitor, evaluate.
Oh, you're connecting the dots across the whole conversation now, huh?
I mean, it's all one theme. Don't rely on myths, build tests.
Especially the 10,000 hours myth that everyone uses like it's a license to half-do things.
The biggest crime wasn't 10,000 hours, it was the average hiding individual variation.
Right. Some people hit mastery with less. Some need more, and other factors matter. Sleep alone changes outcomes.
625,000 hours of sleep study is the funniest way to say we forgot sleep, by the way.
It's not funny, it's just accurate, which makes it worse.
But how did people jump from deliberate practice helps to talent differences don't exist?
Because the story is clean, so people generalize it into a blunt instrument.
And the deliberate practice framework itself has limits. Kind versus wicked learning environments.
Yes, in kind tasks, patterns repeat and feedback is clear, so narrow practice works.
In wicked tasks, feedback is delayed or wrong, so narrow drilling might teach you the wrong lesson.
Like that typhoid diagnosis story, reinforced the wrong interpretation because it kept being right.
Winning the lottery by guessing the same horse because the feedback loop is broken.
Exactly. And most real work is wickedish. Projects, management, entrepreneurship.
So that's why head down one thing for 10,000 hours can stall you long term.
Unless you periodically explore, because exploration precedes hot streaks.
Hot streaks as in you do broad exploration, then exploit, then repeat?
Yep, toggle between explore and exploit, instead of settling into competence mode.
This is where I push back a little. Exploration feels expensive when you're already doing great.
True, because your success becomes an incentive to do nothing risky.
The hammock of competence problem. Super comfy, super dangerous.
Like sleeping through alarms, because you've never missed one.
So the practical fix is low-stakes experiments, right?
Yes, small experiments that can fail safely, but still teach you something real.
And learn who we are and practice not theory means you can't journal your way out of action.
Clark Kent fantasies are cute, but reality demands trying the thing and checking results.
Okay, I'm buying this. Experiment beats intention.
Especially for productivity, today is an experiment. Tomorrow is your evaluation.
My evaluation metric is simple. Do I still feel calm and focused at noon?
That, and whether you got the one thing done before you touch the residue monsters.
Deal. One thing first, email later, and I'll track how many self-interrupt thoughts pop up.
Beautiful. And if you relapse, that's data, not shame.
I think that's the healthiest part. Failure as feedback, not identity.
And on the team side too, failure has to be signaled and encouraged, not just praised verbally.
The failure assistant idea is wild in the best way.
It's like turning experimentation into a job description, so it doesn't get eaten by busy work.
And then the import-export business of ideas kicks in because everyone shares experiments.
Right. You don't all fail in the same direction. You trade lessons.
So for individuals, build a self-reg practice, then protect your focus hour like it's sacred. The way you said self-reg practice feels like rocket fuel for careers.
Because it's basically treating your growth like experiments, right?
Yeah, like what if my life is a lab report?
You and I would have survived grad school then.
But the part that still bugs me is the anti-10,000 hours crowd.
Same. Because 10,000 hours isn't wrong in spirit, it's wrong in translation.
It's like people heard a slogan and ignored the data set.
Exactly. Restriction of range, averaging away the variation, all that nerd stuff matters.
The sleep difference thing, top group got like 60 hours a week?
It's terrifying how many rules are just disguised confounders.
Confounders are the real villains, not the alarm clock.
And that's why the self-reg cycle, reflect, plan an experiment, monitor, evaluate, beats grinding blindly.
I love the if you're not failing 15 to 20% of the time line.
That's the zone of optimal push, not comfortable competence.
Which is brutal for someone whose job is being good already.
That's you, hammock of competence edition.
Don't roast me with econ quotes, man.
But it's true. When you win, your brain starts protecting the win.
So how do you force exploration without tanking outcomes?
Explore, exploit, trade-off. Hot streaks need exploration first.
I get the idea, but in organizations, exploration gets meetings ed to death.
Yes, everyone loves innovate. Nobody loves looking dumb in public.
That's why the failure assistant thing is genius.
It signals underwriting risk, not just verbal lip service.
It's like giving people permission to do science with consequences.
Import-export business of ideas too, so failures become transferable assets.
But then individually, what do I do when my brain keeps grabbing distractions like squirrels?
First rule, do not start the day with email or messaging.
Residue is such a good word for it.
Unfinished tasks leave a cognitive residue, so switching costs multiply.
My calendar is basically residue storage.
Like Gloria Mark said, your brain is a whiteboard. You erase and the smudge stays.
So email is not a task. It's a permanent marker.
People will argue, but I need email to feel oriented.
Maybe, but the orientation is fake comfort. Your real focus gets collateral damage.
Try starting with one, if I finish this, it's a good day, objective.
One thing only? That feels too strict for real humans.
That's the point. Planning fallacy always inflates your capacity anyway.
The funniest part is, planners feel productive while the math says otherwise.
Exactly. Fewer to-dos beats heroic multitasking, even if it looks less busy.
Also, notifications are wild because even when you turn them off, you self-interrupt first.
Your distractometer keeps the cadence you trained your brain on.
So if I used to get 10 pings a minute, my brain will hallucinate 10 pings a minute.
For a while, yes, and it goes away slowly through habit formation, not willpower.
That's actually comforting, because it means the first week feels worse on purpose.
Your detoxing from interruptions is a weirdly good way to frame it.
What about music, though? Because I cannot be fully silent.
Music can help affect, but it steals attentional bandwidth.
Especially lyrics. My eyes read, my brain sings, my productivity cries.
Brain oscillation between screen and rap lyrics, like you caught in 4K.
So instrumentals, minimal novelty, or deliberate intervals.
And if you're pushing hard, turn music off so you're not competing with the noise floor.
Noise floor is such a stealth productivity killer.
Even small decibel changes matter because the brain attends to it automatically.
So I need to treat my environment like I treat my strategy.
The bigger point is focus is a scarce input, not a moral virtue.
And it ties back to the 10,000 hours lie. Because practice without optimal push is just busy effort.
Right, and without exploration or breadth, you build narrow habits that fade over time.
Fade out, like early advantages getting caught by broader toolkits.
Breadth of training predicts breadth of transfer, so the long game isn't a single ladder.
Which is why skill stacking sounds so rational it hurts.
Rational, until you realize your calendar hates stacking.
My calendar is a minimalist murderer.
Then we come back to the practical stuff. Protect focus blocks, reduce residue, run experiments, review outcomes.
And fail faster with a culture that actually learns from failure.
Just don't make failure the goal. Make learning the goal.
Honestly, that's the cleanest framing so far in this whole conversation.
All right, wrap it. What's your one takeaway for the week?
I'm doing this. One good day task before I touch inboxes.
I knew you'd say that.
And I'm scheduling exploration experiments, not just exploiting what already works.
Perfect. Let's go build hot streaks.
Cool, we'll see you next time.
Episode 2 is going to get even more tactical. How to design experiments and review notes without drowning.
Spoiler, it involves less journaling than you think. That 10,000 hours line is basically a productivity fairy tale, right?
Yeah, it's like saying, study a lot. Explains everything about chess. It doesn't.
The part that messed me up was restriction of range, like they studied already elite people.
Exactly. If your sample is pre-selected monsters, the conclusion gets warped instantly.
Also, the average correspondence thing, nobody tells you the tails exist.
The tails matter because real life isn't violinists at the top academy.
Right, and then sleep becomes the sneaky variable. 625,000 hours of sleep jokes aside.
It's not a joke when you realize half the rule is be rested, genius.
So when someone says just grind, I'm like, yeah, but grind what and grind how?
And grind in what kind of learning environment? Kind or wicked? That whole spectrum thing.
Kind versus wicked is such a good lens because it explains why deliberate practice sometimes fails.
In wicked environments, feedback is delayed or misleading so you can reinforce the wrong lesson.
Like that typhoid hand prophecy story, he was correct and still causing harm.
That's the most terrifying version of I learned from my mistakes.
It makes me wonder how many people are optimizing for the wrong feedback loop at work.
Too many. Like you ship faster, and the real metric is customer understanding, which arrives later.
Or you win meetings by being loud, but you're training yourself to be wrong more efficiently.
Chef's kiss, the hippo effect, but make it career development.
Speaking of careers, I love the Dark Horse Project vibe. Fulfillment through zigzags.
The better match quality framing is so clean. Fit predicts both performance and fulfillment.
And it's not random. Those pivots keep happening because people run experiments on themselves.
Self-regulatory practice. Reflect, plan, experiment, monitor, evaluate. Like a scientist, but daily.
I feel guilty because I do reflect a lot, and then skip the experiment part.
That's the classic theory first, identity last trap.
Also, long-term planning is fine, but sometimes it's just procrastinating in a suit.
Yeah, the key is short-term actionable planning, like moving with 300 meters to go.
That image is so good because it forces urgency without obsession.
And it's consistent with building hot streaks. Explore first, then exploit, then zoom out.
The hot streak model made me feel less guilty about switching interests.
Switching isn't the sin. Staying in exploit mode without exploration is the sin.
So how do you keep exploring when you're already competent and successful?
That's hard, because success gives you comfort, and comfort kills experiments.
Exactly. Like in teams, you need a culture that makes failure a signal, not a stigma.
Import-export of ideas too, otherwise knowledge gets trapped in silos.
I still can't get over the failure assistant in every department concept.
It's like giving failure a job title, so it stops being an accident.
But I also worry, what if you fail performatively?
Then you get busy failure, not learning failure.
Totally. The point isn't chaos, it's disciplined experimentation with measurable signals.
Which loops back to productivity, because your signals are your attention system.
Oh yes, the morning email habit being a productivity assassin was not subtle.
That unfinished task residue thing, it's real. Your brain carries the tab you didn't close.
Starting with inboxes is basically starting the day in background processing mode.
And not even deep work, just constant task switching costs.
Gloria Mark's whiteboard metaphor is brutal. Erase residue stays until you erase again.
And people think they're multitasking, but they're really just toggling cognitive rules.
So every small switch is an executive function tax.
Which is why notifications can backfire even after you turn them off.
Because you self-interrupt to keep the cadence you're used to, your brain becomes the notification.
The adaptation curve matters, so instant calm is unrealistic.
That's kind of comforting. I always thought it was me failing at discipline.
But it's habit formation and friction, not moral failure.
Okay, so then practically one good day task before inboxes, no?
Yes, and fewer to-do lists, because overflow is just hidden decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue plus planning fallacy. Calendar lies about time capacity.
Your schedule assumes you can warp time like a Netflix plot.
So block buffer, do fewer items, and pick the one thing that makes tomorrow feel earned.
Also, intervals. Work hard, then switch to a softer mode. Walk, shower, incubate.
That's where music comes in for me because I can't always do silence.
Lyrics, rec writing. Instrumentals might help, but novelty still competes for attention.
I tried reading with rap on and my eyes kept emotionally browsing the track list.
Your brain was multitasking between sentence and chorus.
I'm not even reading anymore, I'm scouting rhymes.
Try it with nothing first, then add music deliberately only if your performance improves.
Which is the theme of the whole conversation. Stop guessing, run experiments.
Exactly, self-reg in productivity form.
And maybe the 10,000 hours lie is actually a symptom of not wanting to run tiny experiments daily.
Boom. Instead of commit for 10,000 hours, it's commit to a feedback loop for 2 weeks.
That's way more human. And cheaper than promising a life plan before breakfast.
All right, wrap it. What's the one habit you'll test this week?
My test. One deep task before I touch email, and I'll track residue by how hard switching feels.
That's nerdy in the best way. I love it.
And my test is the opposite. I'll schedule exploration time so I don't just exploit competence.
Hot streak or bust. See you next week.
If you're listening later, do the one good day task first. Future, you will thank you.
Episode 2 coming up. Designing experiments and reviewing notes without drowning.
The 10,000 hours makes you a master thing is such a catchy lie.
It's catchy because it sounds like a law of physics, not biology.
Exactly. Humans are messy experiments, not production lines.
And the research he kept dragging into the light was brutally specific.
Like how the original violinists were already elite, so range was restricted.
Yeah, it's like studying height and only measuring NBA centers.
You end up with nonsense correlations and then sell it as universal truth.
Also, the complete correspondence claim. He basically said, no, not true.
People with fewer hours sometimes did better than people with more hours.
Which means the average hides the real story, and averages love lying.
The sleep tangent killed me, like the 10,000 hours rule forgot the biology.
6,000 hours of sleep should be printed on motivational posters honestly.
That's the least glamorous productivity advice ever. Go sleep, nerd.
But it highlights the larger point. Deliberate practice isn't one size fits all.
And he kept saying self-regulatory practice like it's a loop you run daily.
Reflect. Plan and experiment. Monitor. Evaluate. Repeat. Until reality improves.
Not work harder, but run experiments on your own brain.
That's scientist of your life energy, and I respect it dangerously.
My only worry is people will turn this into another journaling religion.
True, but the real kill switch is if it stays theoretical.
So you need short-term planning that's basically actionable in 300 meters.
The running analogy was too good. Long goals, but short experiments.
Like, don't check email at 9 a.m. isn't a dream, it's a testable hypothesis.
And it links to the Zionic effect, residue, switching costs. Ugh, the brain is stubborn.
Unfinished tasks leave residue, so starting with email is basically starting with mental clutter.
You're training your attention to never fully lock in.
Attention training sounds fun until your day turns into a notification rave.
He also argued notifications make you self-interrupt because you're accustomed to a cadence.
Which is wild. Like you remove the external cue and your brain fills the gap.
It's habit formation, not just toggling settings for today.
So the I turned off notifications crowd has to survive the withdrawal phase.
That's the most honest productivity metaphor. Detox your attention.
And while detoxing, you schedule exploration, otherwise you exploit competence forever.
Yes, explore-exploit trade-off. Hot streaks need exploration first.
Otherwise you become the Kodak, inventing the future then burying it.
I liked the idea that hot streaks cluster after a period of broad experimenting.
So exploration is like investment in options, not immediate profit.
Except your options expire if you never zoom out again.
But doesn't be broad risk becoming do everything and never master anything?
He drew a difference between breadth across time and simultaneous multitasking.
Which is where multitasking research comes in. Your brain is a whiteboard, and every switch erases residue.
People hear multitask and think it's vibes, but it's measurable stress and performance drop.
Also, switching isn't free. Your cognitive rules reactivate like New Game Plus.
So even if two tasks both involve writing, the style activation differs.
Your brain still bills you a switching fee.
That's why he recommended fewer items, one key thing, then handle the rest later.
Pay yourself first, like productivity as a financial system.
And intervals, hard focus, then refresh, so you're not miserable every second.
What about music, though? Because I'm guilty of background noise like it's a personality trait.
He basically said, music occupies brain space, especially if it's novel or lyrical.
Lyrics are the worst for reading. Your eyes go one way, your brain goes rap lyrics mode.
Instrumentals can be okay, but he implied use it deliberately, not automatically.
So, music by design, not music by surrender.
Exactly. A noise level matters because decibels are logarithmic, so small changes can bite.
I love that the conversation went from motivation to logarithms in 10 minutes.
That's our brand. Feelings, then stats, then rage at email.
Speaking of email, starting the day with it guarantees residue all morning.
Better, do the one deep task, then earn your inbox later.
That's my good day task rule now, it's sticking.
And if you want to go deeper, build your self-reg loop into that deep task.
Like, experiment with one notification-free block, then evaluate switching difficulty afterward.
Also, don't forget the explore-exploit framework for personal growth too.
Because otherwise people exploit competence and call it consistency.
Consistency without exploration is just comfort growth, not mastery growth.
And mastery may depend on the task being kind or wicked for feedback.
Kind tasks give predictable feedback. Wicked tasks can reinforce the wrong lesson.
Like medicine cases where the expert spreads disease, feedback loop says you're right, but you're wrong.
Wicked environments are the reason a lot of people feel trained, but not actually improving.
Which is why his framing pushes broader toolboxes, not narrow repetition forever.
Lateral thinking with withered technology. Nintendo vibes, basically.
Take old tech, combine it somewhere new, and suddenly you're an innovation machine.
That's the broad toolbox argument. Transfer needs varied inputs over time.
So instead of 10,000 hours in one narrow lane, you might skill stack intelligently.
Skill stacking plus self-reg loops, plus low-stakes experiments. Now we're cooking.
And we should probably stop pretending productivity is one morning trick.
It's a system. Residue, interruptions, exploration cadence, and feedback honesty.
All right, time for our tests. Mine's one deep task before email, tracking switching pain.
Mine is scheduling exploration time, so we don't just exploit competence all week.
If you try it once and it feels weird, that's just withdrawal. Push through.
And if you feel guilty, remember, Guilt is not feedback. Data is feedback.
Next episode, we're going even more practical. How to run experiments without drowning.
For real, episode 2 is going to be ruthless about review rituals and overwhelm control.
Catch you there. Go earn your inbox later.
Bye-bye and good luck with your deep task.
Episode 2 teaser. We are designing experiments and reviewing notes without drowning.